Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the CCG channel. Today, we're here with the final game of CCG Esports' last game of the season. Joining me here today, it's going to be a new face, Sir Mickey. We welcome you on board as we are here, as we have been here for a crazy ride so far. Some inconsistent games throughout, but CCG on the brink of qualification for playoffs. How are we feeling?
I'm excited. Like you said, it's my first match here with CCG, so I'm excited. I'm ready to see these teams. We have Nuke coming out for CCG versus CatEvil. Um, it's gonna be an interesting one. Nuke is one of my favorite maps to spectate on. It's a very interesting map, a whole outside area. There's two different sites directly on top of each other. The audio cues are very fun to mess with other people. I mean, we've seen the in the big leagues how crazy the sounds can be on this web or on this map. So it's going to be an interesting one to say the least, but I'm excited to see these teams go at it.
Absolutely, certainly. Now, to give you a rundown of how the season has went down for both of these teams so far, CCG Esports currently sitting with 9 wins and 4 losses. This is again their final game of the season, of the regular season at the very least. They are gonna have more if they and when they make it into playoffs. Cat Evil, second last game of the season, same win, 9, but losses only 3 so far. CCG looking to hand them another one because we were talking about it a little bit off the stream that CCG do tend to enjoy a nuke quite rarely. Of course, a lot of other teams ban it out, but CCG haven't exactly had a complaint about it. They actually prefer playing nuke just below Anubis, probably on their tier list. And the only time they played on Nuke this season, they actually ended up winning that game 13-1. Cat Evil, they do have a few reps in, but I don't believe I checked and they aren't on any official matches. But there are some stats that that we could look at from the last couple of months. One game they ended up winning 13-2, which is the so recent one. But before that, and by the end of January, they played another nuke, which they lost 13-3. So they have seen the best of both worlds. It's just going to be about which part shows up today.
Yeah, it's Nuke is one of those maps where if you know it, you're phenomenal at it. If you don't know it, it's good luck. I mean, it's definitely one of those maps where you have to be on point, and that's why I like it so much. There's so many angles. There's so many uh, spots to sit. Whether you're a sniper or an AR, I mean, it's gonna be fun to say the least. And again, with those sights, it's absolutely kind of ridiculous to watch some teams go at it. But like you said. CCG is looking pretty comfortable. The only map on Nuke, the only game I should say on Nuke that they've played this season, they absolutely dominated. Like you said, 13-1. Whereas Cat Evil is looking a little inconsistent. They won one and lost one back to back on Nuke, so it's going to be interesting to see how Cat Evil comes back in terms of returning to this map. But as you see here, we do apologize. The names are the name for Diablos that should say Cat Evil, but the teams are right. The players are right. We got some substitutes. Trip is going to be filling in tonight for CCG, so we have that going. But all in all, it's definitely shaping up to be a very interesting match as we're set to head in here in just a few moments.
Yeah, the ninth round, I believe, is done, and the teams are just picking sides, so we should be good for the pistol one. But and it, I actually really think that Nuke is one of those maps where it's easy to just go wrong at it. As you said, it's a difficult map to play on, but if you know what you're doing, it can be a really fun and an easy victory. Just because not a lot of teams are comfortable as well.
Yeah.
When you're at an advanced league, it's you can capitalize on that quite nicely. In CCG, they've tried to do that. They've worked quite a lot on this particular map. It's just that it has been unfortunate for them that people tend to ban it out within the initial two ban phases. But now the pistol round initiated, the bomb planted, and as the 5 versus 5 post plant gets initiated, a one-on-one trade to kick things off in the smoke to possibly try and bait some more players out.
Defuse may be happening here. No, taken out is the defuser. 12 HP and a Dream last CT alive, and there we go. Cat Evil is going to take that first round.
Yeah, no trouble whatsoever. A really clean entry. CCG want to go for. a rather safer diffuse and just try to cover their diffuser. I'm not entirely sure if they invested into a diffuse kit to potentially help that strategy out or not, but it sure was an interesting one. Showed absolutely no resilience earlier on. They let the plant go through and not didn't exactly give it much trouble, but now a force spike coming in from the side of CCG. They want to deal a little bit early economical damage and potentially win out this round, but they don't have a lot of utility to be able to achieve that. Only one flash in the hands of a player with a 5-7, and it seems like it is going to be an outside hit, but Gorin, a great headshot to kick things off. Nick Asper follows up with another from stairs. As two players have already fallen, and CCG, just in the blink of an eye, have turned this round on its head.
Turning the round on its head is a bit of an understatement here. It's now down a 3 versus 5 scenario, not where you want to be. If you're that 3, that is. But if you're the 5, you're looking pretty promising here. But SJR circling around outside, gets their head ripped off by Corrin with a beautiful scout shot. Beautiful martial shot. Scout shot. Wrong game, wrong gun, right gun. Everything's fine. But now we have Slayers here with Galil taking some pot shots, taking some damage. J Casper sitting nice and tight down here on B side with that MP9 in hand, hoping for some close quarters action. But Corrin again gonna go ahead and continue to lock in the outside area. Slayers going down, and suddenly it's a 1 versus 5, and it's not looking good at all.
Certainly not. This is probably not what they had in mind as soon as they bought into this round. CCJ, surprisingly, not losing a single player in a round, in a round right after they lost that pistol. So a surprising end to the second round of the game. But again, new a map where, from what we've heard from the captain time and time again, Floridian, he's told me numerous times that Nuke is a map that they should be good on. They've practiced it. They've ironed it out quite nicely. So and it seems so after you watch a round like that, you lose the pistol. They go for force buy. They don't have a lot of utility to work with, but they put up play with such nice timings and crossfires that it automatically puts them in an advantageous position, even when they shouldn't be.
Yeah, kind of defying odds here. I mean, if you look at Nuke as a map as a whole, it's relatively CT sided. It's not exactly a secret, but oh, there we go. Lots of gunfire. Jake Hasper absolutely dominating outside. He said, "Back up, Corrin. It's my turn." But of course, Corrin is there to finish things off. And just a reminder, CCG is on the counter-terrorist side of things here. Corrin and company are going to be on the CT side. Currently, I was gonna say dominating, but not quite. They're in the lead 2-1, which is a nice spot to be in. But on a map like Nuke, you really gotta lock it down. They're on the CT side, so they have that advantage. But at the end of the day, as long as these T-siders, as long as CatEvil can come out and hit their shots and take space, it's gonna be. It could be enough for them to flip this match into their favor. But it looks like a lot of yellow straight through A lobby with Utility Dump Boulevard living up to its name. That grenade does so much damage to so many different people, but is it going to be enough to take them down? J. Casper Floridian absolutely going off. The Galil from Heaven, Corrin to finish it off. Beautiful round from CCG.
Oh, CCG are going to be so happy with this because, as I said, they are on the CT side. You have to make sure you capitalize on that advantage that which you get by just being on that side. It's Nuke is so heavily defense sided that it puts them automatically at an advantageous position, and they're capitalizing on it really nicely so far. But they have to ensure that it converts into a good round lead by the end of the first half as well. And but their CT economy though absolutely does not help their case. They have to work quite a lot in order to build up a proper economy, and having won 3 rounds where they didn't lose a single player helps that case quite a lot. We see a player close to 10k, all pretty much all of them above 7k except one player who still is at 6k. So the money is not going to be a problem for them, at least for 2 rounds that they even 2 rounds that they possibly can consecutively, if they consecutively lose any, that is. From For the time being though, it seems like they have absolutely no intentions of doing so, although
Yeah.
Their arsenal isn't as strong as the weaponry which is on the T side, which is present on the T side, but they're still holding it down so nicely. Korin
Oh,
outside all by himself, doesn't need any help. Zoki falls. The utility starts to fade away already, but now has been the smokes go out again as the T is this time around pushing over towards ramps.
yeah. Corin has done nothing this game except put the team on his back. I mean, shot after shot, domination after domination, just solidifying how
It's
nasty they
five
really
and
are
nine and
at
one.
this
Yeah.
game. 9-1 is impressive. I mean, that's insane, especially considering we're on round 5. I mean, that is a dominant player right there. So, but Trip and Company, they're feeling pretty good. Like you said, the economy's looking real nice. Somehow, Slayers able to slip out of that. I don't know how Chinchilla didn't capitalize on that, but it's okay because Wolf Team is going to go ahead and put Floridia down, and suddenly it's a 3 versus 3. Corin from heaven once again, but the trade comes through from Wolf Team 5-4-6. Bomb gonna find a home here at a site, and suddenly it's a two-man retake here for CCG, and it's not looking too hot.
Europe has had some fantastic numbers in the recent couple of games, but not this time around. He had the hero AK to potentially put this 2 versus 3 back into CCG's favor, but gets denied. Not to worry though, because as I said, their economy had been quite nicely built up, so they're gonna have a full buy, potentially an op coming out as well if they wish for it. Generally, J Casper is the main opper, but they like to switch around about whoever is just feeling comfortable on that big gun, and this time around it's going to be Trip that pulls it out yet again. And we saw him play an op on Anubis just on Monday. He put absolutely insane numbers, had 29 frags, 14 dead, so more than a 2 KD. He was the MVP that game as well, looking to potentially
Oh
replicate
my
it. The
god.
first kill though goes the way of JJ Chinchilla, immediately traded out though.
Utter chaos out the gate here. There we go. Trip making that op. Pay up in dividends. Slayer takes down Trip, though. Quick trade, and the op is suddenly completely. That AWP is completely gone. It's off the map. It's out of the hands of the team that initially bought it, which was CCG. And what's crazy is CatEvil decides to leave the op on the ground. They say, let's just leave it out of play. We don't want to risk CCG picking up that AWP again and turning the tide back in their favor. But while I was talking, T side, oh my goodness, CatEvil is able to get bomb planted. And now it is a 3-man retake here for CCG. 1 down, 2 to go. 2 versus 3. Lots of sprays into that one smoke. Guys, they're not there. Check the other smoke, maybe. But Floridian ever so slowly and diligently taking site, clearing site. 1 down, 1 to go. But no. Young but wrong. Gonna get taken out here. J Casper, Corin and company absolutely looking gorgeous on Nuke.
Yeah, the retake was no problem for them. They took their time to enter into the site. They opened all the doors, tried to clear out as many angles as they possibly could have before heading into the site, to ensuring that they possibly don't walk into a potential crossfire because there were only 2 Ts alive. So them being able to find out that one player's over towards the right side of the site was really good. The crossfire got denied over towards doors, leaving Young but wrong up in a 1 versus 3. He was good for 1 but got immediately traded out. So CCG keeping the rhythm, keeping the momentum going in their favor as they hold on to the 2-round lead.
There is a plethora of bullets being sprayed on just about every portion of the map, and somehow all 10 are still
Oh,
alive. And right as I
big
say that,
frag.
Corin, with the help of Jasper, takes down Slayers. That is a huge frag. Chinchilla takes down SJR. There you go. Zaki able to locky in that kill. Chinchilla goes down. That's a huge. Oh my goodness. Zaki again. Floridian. The trades left and right. J Casper to capitalize. And now a quick frag onto site. Just trying to slow down this T side
Oh,
push. Beautiful shots from Casper. My goodness gracious. And it's going to leave Casper and Trip in a 2 versus 1. And CatEvil, if you're Wolf Team right now, you're quaking in your boots right now. This is not looking good. You got 50 seconds on the clock. You either got to kill both CT siders or plant the bomb or both. It's really up to you in this position. But 40 seconds, your options are dwindling here.
my limited options is because the Clock's ticking down as well. He likely won't be able to go for a push over towards B, because if he does, he's gonna have to be very loud about it. I'm not entirely sure if any of the CTs hear him though, because both of them I think are playing really passive. Actually, never mind. One player should actually spot him out. So instead, just gonna go for a rather safer play. Never mind. B through vents, silent, but could absolutely work out for him. 10 seconds left on the clock. He needs to get on the bomb. And he needs to do so quickly. Trip should hear him, and the call for backup goes out as well, as both of them go together. But Jay Casper, actually, he's in the side. The ice fights have been isolated out for Wolf team, but the Molotov gonna force him out of his position as he peeks out, spotted and dealt with. Trip, nice shot to confirm the fifth for
Casper
CCG.
takes a bit of skin off a trip there, but it's fine. They get it done. They get the defuse as well. Here, they should be here in a second, I believe. Yeah, yeah, it's fine. Trips defusing, everything's fine. But oh, okay, maybe everything's fine. Come on, guys, there we go. That's what a kit does for you.
They're probably just
Yeah,
swapping
everything's
stats,
fine.
maybe.
They had to plug their monitors back
Yeah.
in. They're gonna start trying now. But everything's fine. 5-2. CCG is looking very clean. They're looking very nice here on Nuke. And again, this is a pretty CT sided map. It's a pretty counter terrorist favored map. So it's entirely possible that on the half switch here in a few rounds, CatEvil completely takes the reins here and just does their own thing. They take the reins and they begin to dominate here because on a map like Nuke, it is all about positioning and angles. And this map, we just witnessed it, that AWP comes into play. When it's done right on a map like Nuke, it can make all the difference.
I mean, with when talking about a gun such as the AWP, it quite doesn't matter which map it is. If it's playing good, if it's playing aggressive like it's supposed to, or even if it's playing massive and holding down the angles that your team needs you to hold down, and still and converting frags behind it. It's a highly impactful it's a highly impactful weapon. You
Oh yeah.
practically deny out a whole area behind that gun all on its own, because the other team, they're just afraid to lose a player early on and not even get a trade behind it, and hence an op a really deadly weapon to face off against. A force mic coming in from the side of the T's. Cat Evil starting to look a little bit desperate early on into the game, as they are with 3 round deficit, and CCG just one away from getting at least half the amount of rounds secure. Ooh, shots a little bit off of JJ Chinchilla, but he's gonna hold down the line. Not enough to get a frag, though. Is stripping forward. Both of them do find a frag. Weapons retrieved. Hence some signs of life for the T side. The flash gonna allow Trip to peek out a little bit, but Corin is the one that converts a frag through the smoke.
Corin again coming into play. He's been so solid, such an amazing fragger. Trip, somehow that shot doesn't land, but also somehow SJR isn't able to finish Trip off and gets taken out in the process. And there we go. The AWP stays alive for CCG, and the money is just flowing. And finally, Cat Evil is able to get some rifles on the board here. Last round was pretty light. We had 3 Galils with, I believe it was 2 Tech 9s with a plethora of grenades, and now it's okay. Well, I think we're gonna. I think 2 of them are gonna be able to actually full buy here, but we are gonna continue to see at least 2 Tech 9s with some nades. But I believe we're gonna have do we have a team pause?
It has been cancelled.
Yeah,
No more talking strategies.
canceled. Yep. Yep. Everything. No, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to take a moment and plan. You have to just go, guys. Don't you know that in order to get good, you have to just press W and click?
Well, CCG haven't been working on according to that strat, and it certainly has worked out in their favor as they continue to do so. 2 HE grenade frags to kick things off, followed by a rifle kills. Oh, Zoki finding a gap yet again. Last time around, he was able to convert 2 frags behind it, but this time around only good for one. Drip finishes him off in the 7th round on board. CCG is trying to sort of run away with the first half already.
Yeah, I mean, CCG. This is looking like a CCG map. It really is. I don't want to call it too early. There's still plenty of Counter Strike to be played here, but At the moment, CCG is just looking so solid, and now we see why that one player was saving for the rifle last round. We have four AKs, four CatEvil with the AWP in play as well, but Chinchilla playing up close and personal here. Nades being lobbed outside and in. Corin doing what he does best, holding this outside angle. Look at the op angle for Trip. Just one more corner. Swing it, buddy. No, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Calm round from the side of the D's this time as well. Generally, they have been playing highly aggressive. Hasn't worked out for them in 7 rounds, so they finally have learned their lesson. But is it going to be too late? Is CCG going to be able to readjust accordingly and still keep their streak going? Is the real question.
Yeah, I mean,
Finals.
this is not looking great for Cat
Oh,
Evil,
good
and
frag.
right there, it's all about timing. And Chinchilla is going to capture Zaki there, and that's now still 9 players are remaining. Oh no, Wolf Team, you got stuck on the wall, champ. Not what you want to see. Floridian gets stuck on flames, gets taken down with the assist, of course, with the frag from Young But Wrong, and Young But Wrong is going to get taken out. Corin and Trip working in tandem to retake a site, and just like that, Trip with the final kill of the round. 8 rounds here for CCG, and they're not looking like they're stopping anytime soon.
Every single one of these round wins has been extremely clean from CCG. They've had at least 3 players alive, and pretty much every single one of them. It seems like that there's absolutely no way they can CatEvil can infiltrate any site whatsoever. If they want to go towards B, they have to deal with trips op or the player over towards connector, which they have not been able to successfully push back. If they want to go into the A side, that's where Jay Casper awaits them alongside Corin, walking over him from outside, and again finds the first frag. Corin continues to dominate the lobby. Jay Casper yet again able to help him out, set up a nice crossfire, and hence 2 players have fallen. Floridian from within the site taken out. JJ Chinchilla surprisingly falls as well. That's just an awkward timing for him. And hence, finally, a mad advantage taken. And behind that, the bomb should go down for CatEvil.
And that's the thing about CatEvil, they've been able to get bombed down quite a bit. It's just the post-plant defense is not what it needs to be, and we've seen Wolf Team, we've seen Trip, we've seen SJR in these situations where it's a 1 versus X scenario, and it's almost every single round. They need to find some glue on their team, because at the moment, they're looking like individual players, and it's not looking like a team game for
Oh,
CatEvil. But finally, as I say that, SJR working off the distraction from Wolf Team is going to be able to not only deny a defuse, but sealed yet another round for CatEvil. And there we go. They're not out of this just yet.
not just yet, but final round into the half. I think CCG system on this map, just at defense at the very least, is just working like you're pretty much defined to lose 2 players over towards outside. Jay Casper and Corin, they're pretty much supposed to die as they get traded out. But James Chinchilla and Floridia, it comes down to them to find the frags over towards mid and end of the round. If the push is coming in over towards A, both of them just don't get the right timing this time around, get caught off guard. Hence a round win for the side of CatEvil after so long, but still. CCG really made them fight for it. It turned into a 1 versus 1 by the end of it. But Jay Casper this time around playing a little bit more safer. Gets one, but his teammates are starting to fall apart, and so is he. Eventually, as 3 players gone at the price of just 1.
And 1 is the amount of minutes remaining here. Just over a minute on the clock. And we have 2 kits on the belt for CCG. But in order for those to actually be effective, CatEvil's got to get the bomb down. But Wolf Team is able to take down Chinchilla, and there's a ridiculous amount of gunfire being sprayed into that smoke, and it's actually going to cause the last remaining player, I believe that's Trip for CCG, to take the long way around here, trying to get up in heaven with that op. The flash out. He's used that same flash a couple times. Now all four members of CatEvil are all on site. They're all watching the same angle. Slayers diverts attention just for a moment. I don't know if Trip's going to be able to pull this off. One down, three to go, and no. Slayers shuts him down, and it's an 8-4 half, which is a lot better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Cat Evil, they figured out some gaps which they could have exploited, but perhaps maybe it was too late. They were only able to convert 2 rounds behind it towards the end of the first half. CCG though, a 4 round lead. This pistol round going to be absolutely crucial for both of these teams. CCG, if they convert this, they're likely looking at double digits achieved as well from the round that follows afterwards. But for a comeback to start early and not be in absolute shambles while trying to make one, Cat Evil, they really need to to start strong, kick off with a pistol round win.
Yeah, the pistol rounds. These games, these maps can be insane, but pistol rounds matter. That's what's kind of insane. That's one of the, oh my goodness, Trip just ripped off whole team's head. But that's one of the factors. Oh my goodness, did you see that? There's a guy.
Yeah.
There was a dude in
Oh
heaven.
no!
Corn went right by him. Trip. Oh no, Zaki. They ended up getting flanked by Zaki, who was sitting just hanging out in heaven and loops around for the flank ski and ends up getting a two-piece because of it. And suddenly, a minute on the clock, two versus
Drop.
two. Bomb has been dropped all the way over here by Trophy. I believe that's actually down ramp, but Chinchilla takes down SJR, and one versus two with 50 seconds on the clock. Floridiot and Chinchilla need to move speed right now. W key all the way to site. Get that
Good
bomb
read.
down. You got plenty of time. Very good read. They know that they like to sit up in that heaven spot, and they're going to go ahead and avoid that player altogether with just over 30 seconds of the clock. Bomb is going to find a home here at B site, and retake is underway for that one versus two for Zaki.
No defuse kit. A flash to potentially help him out in his effort to secure the pistol for Cat Evil. He's already found 2 frags. Gonna need to put 2 more on board, given his location away. But not even gonna matter. Jaden Chinchilla just slides away, giving some extra love to Zaki. But had the CCG lost that round, Trip was absolutely gonna be kicking himself for having missed those shots over towards ramps. It just it just resulted in too much damage being conceded. They lost 2 players as a result over towards ramps, which included Trip and Corin, I believe, both of them really great players and have have put up good numbers as well. Corin currently sitting at 16. Has slowed down a little bit. He started off 9-1. Ever since he's had 7 deaths and 7 frags as well. Quite conveniently. Trip though 10-6, not as dominant as a game as we saw him play on Anubis on Monday. But when your team is doing their job, when everyone's doing their part, there's really no need to dominate either. You're just having fun. Everything's working out in your favor. You have a 5 round lead already, which you look to extend as you face off against 4 pistols and an MP9 from the side of the CTs.
A lot of aggression coming out from the CTs. Oh my goodness. Cat Evil is doing some evil work here. Absolute chaos just unleashed in lobby. Oh my goodness, I'm pretty sure 6 people just died right in this one room, and Wolf Team is no exception. And suddenly, it's not looking very good for the last remaining member, which is Zaki for Cat Evil. Cat Evil now on the counter-terrorist side of things. CCG has switched over to the terrorist side of things, and Casper and company, again, just going to play it smart. They know where he isn't, so they're going to go ahead and just get bombed down, play that objective, and Zaki's got to take the long way around all the way down through ramp. So hopefully within the next couple seconds, Corn and company are going to be made aware of that positioning from Zaki,
Ooh,
and
the
I
timing.
think it's about to happen. Timing. It's all about timing, and there we go. Casper going to seal the deal.
Yeah, they got a little too close to comfort for Jack Asper alone, but I really like that move from the side of CCG. Zaki once again was the last one alive for CatEvil, but Korin, he spots Zaki out, absolutely not giving him a chance whatsoever at winning this round and giving him isolated fight. So instead of just rushing him over towards A to catch him out and win the round early, they take their time, move over towards B, play it safe, sort of set up a crossfire as well. But before they're fully able to achieve it, the J Casper gets the time, gets an awkward timing, but finds the frag regardless. So 10 on board, just as I had predicted. Call me a genius or something, or maybe just lucky today. But CCG looking to improve, looking to further improve their lead as they're facing off yet against yet another pistol buy, pistol upgrades coming in from the side of CatEvil, and they've surprisingly done a decent chunk of damage, just not lethal enough to have found two frags.
Here we go. Slow play outside
Oh
has been
no.
the name of the game. Look at this positioning from Slayers. Takes down Jasper, but Chinchilla to answer the call here with a refrag of their own. But that nade just barely. Oh, there we go. Slayers has received a nice haircut via Chinchilla. And Corin going to go ahead and make sure that that heaven position is totally impassable. And now this is looking more and more like a CCG map. We have a 6-round deficit here for CatEvil. They're not looking too good. As CatEvil, they're 9-3 in the season. They're coming into this. They need this win. They absolutely need this win, especially since their last match on Nuke was a bit of a blowout. So they really need to seal the deal here. They need to take a moment, whether that's a pause or a timeout, whatever they need to do to just have a discussion. All right, we are on counter terrorist side. Somehow they're slipping through the cracks. What do we need to do to make sure that CCG doesn't have an opening here? And at the moment, I don't know what the answer to that is, but CCG is just looking so solid that it doesn't even look like CatEvil is going to have a chance within these next couple rounds. I mean, two more on the board, and that's it.
Yeah, it could be a blowout for CatEvil yet again, and for CCG. Last time around, it was a better result for them, 13-1. But you can't really complain even if you end on a 13-4, which is absolutely something they wish to achieve. Corin though, oh, just barely staying alive and back off from of that engagement, not the anti-fragger anymore probably. Gonna have someone else take that charge. Jaden Jula sustains a little bit of damage through that nade as well, but returns the favor. It's gonna be Jake Asper that puts SJR down to just 45 HP. And he's gonna disrespect the smoke, pushing it out a little bit at least. But as soon as the smoke fades away, it should scream murder, but not yet actually. CCG is still taking their time. Eventually, gonna move into the crosshair of Wolf team. Has been forced to push him back. And CCG, now that they have cleared out ramps at least for a few seconds, they're gonna once again keep the team of CatEvil guessing about where exactly their approach is coming in. SJR rotating over towards B. So CCG, this is going to be their prime time to execute over towards A, and they recognize it, but they're not prepared to take those two players head on. Zoki and Young but wrong, both of them find three players collectively. The trades have come through, but the damage has already been dealt as Corin falls to the HE grenade as well, the bomb down alongside him. And now Trip in a 1 versus 3. There's a player right behind him, not prepared for it, and the 5th round on board, keeping the hopes alive as they avoid match point for CCG. I'm out called for CatEvil.
Yeah, CatEvil, they got that one round, which is great. That's awesome. But you need to find a way to keep that momentum going, right? I mean, you have a team that has shown themselves to be extremely strong at the moment. And CCG is just so phenomenal at this. I don't know if it's the map, if it's the players. I have no idea right now. I'm kind of out of my element, but they're definitely solid here. I can tell that. I can tell you that much. CCG knows what they're doing. And at the moment, CatEvil just needs to find a way to keep that momentum up. They need to find a way to shut down CCG, and they just did it But the question here is, can they do it again?
Should be easy for them to do so. They are working only against pistols, but CCG are surely gonna
Oh,
make them work for it. A one-on-one trade to kick things off. The reinforcements have arrived on scene. They have kept CCG at bay, at least for the time being. Corin once again gets the trade, although he's just barely surviving. 15 HP on him. Slayer's down to 7, so there's some potential for CCG to actually run away with this. But the Trip, he's going to have to do quite a lot of damage, as he has an AK to work with and the armor as well. Corin, though, not the same case for him, as he walks straight into the crossfire of Zaki.
oh man.
Trip spotted 5 bullets in the magazine, so he's going to have to reload
Ooh,
soon. Nice shots.
Trip. That was a gorgeous headshot. Young but wrong goes down. More like young but dead, unfortunately. Just under a minute on the clock here. The AWP is still up. It is still in the hands of CatEvil. So they have that going for them. So worst case scenario, they just save that AWP. They save that sniper. And they bring it into the next round. Or excuse me, not CatEvil. CCG has the AWP. My words are hard. I'm sorry, but there we go. Never mind. Whatever I was saying, whatever I was trying to say, it doesn't matter because Zaki's gonna go ahead and tell me to shut up by throwing a bullet into Trip's brain. And there we go. CatEvil is starting to find some pacing here.
Had Drip found the frag onto Zaki, it would have been a realistic round for CCG there as well, because Slayers, again, he was only living with 7 HP. So close call for CatEvil once again. Their economy continues to take a hit, although they win another round. But they lost 4 players in the process. Young but dead. That caught me off guard, but I really loved that one.
Oh, stick with me, and you'll hear way worse than that, Chief. But young but wrong positioning. How about that? Gets their toes absolutely burnt. Sitting on top of Hut here, but Zaki trying to dissipate that smoke as much as he can, but no, Trip is gonna follow that spray pattern right to Zaki's midsection. He goes down, and it's suddenly a 4 versus 5, and it's looking like a lot more doable of a round here for the T side.
Oh,
Young
no.
but wrong. Can he go further? Yes, takes down 2 with the help of Slayers, but J Casper is there with a trade. 2 versus 2, a minute on the clock. Bomb needs to find a home here. We're just casually looking at these new kicks everybody's got on, but there we go. Wolf take down J Casper. Quick trade. Trip switches real quick, flicks to check their flank, but it's fine. There's no one there because Slayers is on the opposite side of the map, and gonna go ahead and opt out to not save the AWP. Get a rifle on the board instead, make it a little bit more playable for themselves in this situation. 1v1, you definitely, the operator, or excuse me, the AWP, wrong game, can come into play. It can be phenomenal, but in this situation, you need that maneuverability, and Slayers is going to opt out for that M4A1S, whereas Trip's got that AK on the belt. Time is ticking away. Is the smoke going to come out for cover? It is, but it doesn't matter because Trip is a couple taps away from absolutely dominating this entire matchup. I mean, players like Trip, players like Corn, they have just been so solid tonight. And right there, the experience, that wasn't even I can see you, let me shoot you. You couldn't see him. You just knew exactly where you planted, and you shot for where you planted because that's the experience coming into play here, and that was just phenomenal. And all of a sudden, it's 6-12.
Backs against the ropes. CatEvil just buying anything they possibly could have bought up. Not a lot of utility. 3 SMGs, 2 M4s, no defuse kits. They're desperate for a round win. They're desperate to keep going in this game. But CCG wanting to close out their season on a strong note.
Oh, and it looks like that strong note may be fading here, as the pistols are actually coming to a bit of a actually helping at the moment. They're doing work that pistols probably shouldn't be doing. But Zaki stuck between a rock and a container. And Chinchilla gonna go ahead and take them out. Young but wrong with a beautiful angle, but the trade comes through from Chinchilla. A minute on the clock. Bomb has yet to find a home at A or B site. Once again, we're just viewing some beautiful kneecaps
Oh
right
no.
there. Wolf, you have to check your corners. That's like rookie 101. Come on, you got to check behind. Trip takes him down. Suddenly, bomb is going to get planted here at a site. The noise, unfortunately, Trip heard all that clanking. He thought it was just a casual battle droid behind him, but it's fine. Everything's fine. SJR picks up another one. Corrin goes down. I don't know what's happening, but CatEvil is a complete different team than what we saw in the first half.
But then again, they are on the CT side here as well. Tends to be a little bit uh, favorable to play on. But SJR with that MP9 being the MVP of the round, finding 3 frags in such a terrible situation of for Cat Evil as well. The start wasn't strong. Sure, they found the first blood, but losing 2 afterwards. Strip. He got hit with karma right there. His timing was wrong over towards that over towards heaven as well, which he used to earlier on kill Wolf Team as well. So got the taste of his own medicine a little bit, but had Trip gotten not looked away, I'm pretty certain the game would have ended right there.
But
Same
you know what?
case.
You know what just did end was that player's ankles. I mean, that didn't feel great. But Trip gets taken out from outside. Trip and Corrin have been the two who have really taken control outside. So to see one of them get taken down in their special place is a little upsetting. It's a little off-putting, to be honest. But 12-7 again. CatEvil definitely, they definitely have a chance. There's still plenty of game to be had, but that window of opportunity is closing. And at the moment, CCG needs to find a way to slam that window shut, cutting off at least 4 fingers. Because I mean, there's nothing else that you can. There's very little room for error here for CatEvil, and CCG needs to take advantage of that.
The real question is they move back towards A. Zoki, 1 HP and doesn't live to see another day, at least not in this round. Young but wrong, young but dead yet again. But now, Corrin, 1 versus 2. He was the star player to kick things off, has slowed down just a little bit. But can that individual prowess shine yet again as he looks to close out the game? But no! SJR wins that fight, puts the 8th on board, and just barely. Cat Eel are holding on to this game by a thread. Absolutely not. CCG, 4 Tech 9s, a Glock. Quite a decent chunk of utility to work with, but they're pushing onto the side, Crip. Good opening frag. Couldn't follow up behind it, but okay, Corrin eventually will, but that's pretty much all she wrote. A very quick round gets put to bed by Zoki with the final frag. 9th on board, 3 rounds is all the difference that remains between both of these two teams, and now finally CCG coming out with a full buy to potentially put things to an end here. But if they lose this one, it's certainly going to be a close call. A very much needed terrorist time now being called in from the side of CCG to potentially slow things down and talk things through, iron them out. They are only just 1 away from ending the season and confirming their slot in the playoffs. 1 round. CCG. A lot of presence outwards outside this time around. Three players to begin with. Not aggressive though. Setting up smokes to potentially lead the charge outwards. Secret. Certainly is the case. They have isolated Zoki out, who has had quite a lot of impact frags in this game. The numbers may not portray it, but he certainly made his presence known. Not this round. Trip again. Entry frag to kick things off. Secret, there's CCG moving closer and closer to B, and potentially to their victory as well.
Potentiality. That's all it's about. I mean, they CCG just needs to seal the deal here. This is not. It's not impossible, but it's also not impossible for CatEvil to come back and do their thing.
Really not. Two CTs have made their way to B. The question is, can they hold on? CCG backing off again outward secret. Gonna heavily rely on, but perhaps trying to find somebody off guard, but they're gonna have to do so quickly. 30 seconds remaining. Slayer's playing a little bit aggressively, but not enough for Jason Chitla to spot him out. Young but wrong, gonna be the first line of defense. The timing, Corin doesn't completely clear out his angles, but the J
Oh.
duo instead
Oh
respond back
no.
with two frags. 10 seconds remaining. Bomb starts to go down. A 2 versus 4 to keep CatEvil alive in this game. They've come a long way from the first half, but can they keep going?
That's the question. Bomb barely was able to get planted. Now it's not looking great for CCG here, or excuse me, for CatEvil. They got to get this done. It's a one man execution here, and just like that, Trip and J Casper doing what they did the entire game and sealed the deal on Nuke. That was just phenomenal to watch, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, Corin, 26 frags, 15 deaths. Jay Casper, 21 frags, 13 deaths. He was highly consistent with the kills he found. Sure, there weren't any 2 to 3 Ks, quite not a lot of them at the very least. Hence, he didn't get highlighted as much, but he sure had an impact and a massive one to help CCG put their win on board, their 10th win to be precise, as this was again their last game of the season. With this win, they have made their way into the playoffs. The seeding is yet to be confirmed because as we still have some more games being played out from the rest of the teams. After all of that is done, we will have a final seeding, but it should be somewhere close to the 10th spot, somewhere around, somewhere right either below it or above it. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but we will find it out. But a good game nonetheless. CCG not as dominant as we perhaps would have hoped for, but they still took a time out in the very end when things were starting to fall apart, calmed themselves down a little bit, collected themselves, and hence came out with a victory.
Yeah, I mean, you said not as dominant as we hoped for or as we expected, but still pretty dominant, especially in that first half on the CT side. I mean, it was pretty solid gameplay overall, but I'm glad we were here for it.
Absolutely, but we will be taking a short break because we are gonna have an interview with one of the players. So make sure you stay tuned because we potentially may have some insights about what we can hope for playoffs, and so that's certainly gonna be interesting. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, to the CCG channel, and now we have the captain himself, Floridia, joining us after the final victory of the regular season. Floridia, first of all, how are you feeling, man?
We're feeling good. It's been a couple seasons. It's been a while since I think I got 10 wins in a season, so that always feels good. Just really happy and hoping we get the bye going into playoffs here.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, you don't have to make a streak of wins to qualify this time around out of desperation with 10-5 comebacks. So congratulations on that. Uh, but but it has been entertaining nonetheless. And ending out on Nuke as well, which is another map that you've mentioned as a map that you tend to enjoy quite a lot. Of course, you haven't had as many reps in so far in the season. We only saw you play this map once, which you ended up winning 13-1. And since you were against sort of a lesser, stronger team, to sugarcoat it a little bit. But do you think having not as many reps in could alter what how your nuke should be heading into playoffs? Since today it seemed like you guys were starting to fall apart just a little bit on your T side.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody kind of got scared away from that 13-1. There, we didn't play many teams that played Nuke, and of the teams that did, they like were first banning it against us. So
Yeah.
I guess they're just scared. I don't know. But yeah, we're lacking a little bit of reps here on there just because we played so many teams in a row that we knew that wouldn't float it into us. But we have been playing it recently. We just reached a little dry patch there. I think our money got messed up a little bit on the T side to start. So. I think we lost like one round and we were reset, and is what it is. Just struggle to get that last one in there a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, hey, you guys are probably sitting above top 10, I think, now. I'm not entirely sure, so correct me if I'm wrong. Currently, you are seventh, but if, let's say, the other teams win one or two more games, such as CatEvil, since they practically have the same scoreline as you for the timing, they only have one more game to play. They have four losses now after this game, so you're probably sitting around the 10th spot, so your seeding's good as well. I'm just gonna blatantly ask this. How are we looking in the playoffs, man?
so 24 make it this season. We were pretty happy going
Yeah.
into that when we knew that at the start of the season. Historically, the score like V1s can be a little risky just with how random it is, but as soon as we get to playoffs, that's when we really kick it into second gear. It's I find BO3 is a little bit easier to call just from a consistency point. Get to you don't really have to deal and work around the other team's gimmicks as much. So we were pretty happy that this season was 24. Of course, we would have ended up making it either way. We are, I think, the sixth or seventh seed right now because Team One is forfeiting, so they won't be in the bracket. Top eight will have a bye. We're hoping we're getting in that top eight, but we might just be on the cusp. So we need a couple wins to go our way. But we're feeling happy going into playoffs here, feeling comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, the seating's certainly gonna help a lot, but I'm not gonna keep you here for long. I'm gonna let you go and enjoy. We were a little bit delayed on the interview as well due to some issues that we faced. Hence, you see a black screen on my side. But thank you, Floridiot, for joining me today. Yet again, it's always amazing talking to the captain himself, of course. And thank you to everybody else who joined in for the journey of the regular season of Advance so far. And we're hoping to see you with the playoffs as well. Make sure you follow all our socials so you can keep up to date whenever this fantastic man is playing alongside the rest of his team. But until playoffs, I think this is time to say goodbye.
Yeah,